Namaste and welcome back. Greetings to all of you. And today I'm welcoming you from the office of the Chief Executive of National Highway Logistics Management Limited, a company of Government of India which is deeply into highway logistics of various types. And with me is Mr. Prakash Gaur, the Chief Executive. And I request you, sir, to tell about your company a little bit before we move on to our podcast of the day.
Namaskar, Dr. Bana. Namaskar to your viewers. I'm very much thankful to Dr. Bana for inviting us for this discussion. This company is a very newly formed company by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. I'm sure you are aware about that. MORTH, Ministry of Road Transport, has done a wonderful job in the country in terms of highway construction. One need to say, one is experienced on the ground, the kind of highway, the quality of highways, the number of highways we have built is visible to everybody, experiencing by everybody. Coming to the further point, the ministry realizes that it is much beyond the highways what is to be done for the load users. So ministry has set up 3 years before this company named National Highway Logistics Management, which works both on the goods and logistics, the passenger logistics. When I say goods logistics, when we build the highways, basically our objective is to create economic growth. Economic growth will only come when the cargo moves faster. The cargo moves faster, bring the logistic efficiency. The company has been mandated to develop 35 multimodal logistics parks across the country. The basic need this company was formed, and then it was given a mandate of as a last mile connectivity support connectivity programs. Then parallelly, the company was also given the assignment for the passenger logistics, where when you travel on the highways, we as Indian travelers, we always feel the pain of having a good quality passenger convenience on the highways. Believe me, now you will be seeing a very good quality of passenger convenience across the highways. We are building 1,000 such passenger amenities, what we call as wayside amenities. Like you travel in Europe and US, you see the kind of motels, shopping centers, various kind of fuelings, similar kind of things we are doing here. Where you find EV charging vehicles for electric vehicles, you'll find multiple fuels, other sorts of things. You'll find truckers' dormitories, truckers will be travel, like the Honorable Prime Minister announced to be done for this. You'll find good restaurants, baby care for the female especially, and a whole lot of other things to be there. So the travelers who's traveling, not only the car traveler, also the cargo traveler, they can have an ease on the highways.
Now, coming to today's topic, in the world, we generally, when we talk about India, people say Indian rope trick, and you seem to have taken up a next dimension by launching the Indian Ropeway Program. Could you tell us a little bit about the Ropeway Program in general and your flagship program of urban ropeway at Varanasi in particular?
So when you say take in last 70 years, country has developed only 60 kilometers.
You mean to say only 60 kilometers was developed in last 70 years?
70 years. And if you compare this with the international country like France, Switzerland, Austria, and many other countries, the installation thousands
of kilometers of ropeway.
1,000 installations.
1,000 installations. Okay.
Somewhere maybe less than kilometers, somewhere more than kilometers.
Okay.
But number of installations. Our number of installations is 67.
Okay.
60 kilometers, 67 installations.
All right.
While European, if you see the small countries, developed countries, small countries, thousands of installations.
Mm-hmm.
Some countries have 3 to 4,000 installations.
Okay.
3 to 4,000 installations.
Okay.
And that's why when you say you want to develop tourism as your economic center, as job creation center, you see what the Switzerland is all about. They harness infrastructure on their natural beauty.
Yeah.
We have much more natural beauty, but we are not able to harness. So what government of India announces in 2022 budget, that the government of India is developing a national roadway development program called Parvatmala.
Okay.
In that program, the
Parvatmala.
and the Honorable Finance Minister announced in that budget program that we will be developing 60-kilometer roadways on a PPP basis. There can be various format of PPP. And taking that 60 kilometers thing is, we have identified 15 projects of 60 kilometers across country.
Okay.
And our first project is Banaras
In the urban.
in the urban areas. See, when the Honorable Financial announced this program, they have kept 3 or 4 parameters. One was, of course, the last mile connected to the hilly areas, tourism enhancement. But one of the another parameter was that an urban roadway where that mass transit is not feasible. So where your point comes of Banaras. So I, being a transportation planner, when the assignment was given to us, so it was going on in Banaras before us also 3-4 years. So I also went to Banaras and said, why we are doing roadway? But today, if you ask me, the transportation expert, because my education is transportation, for such cities, you can't do any other transport system.
Okay.
Because Banaras is it actually is a what we call Hindi Galian. It has streets.
But now we also have things like podcasts and other modern ways of last mile
So
connectivity.
I'll tell you one more thing in that. Coming to this, now you're asking me the question is what went through system selection of city.
Yeah.
What we call system selection.
Correct.
In fact, fortunately, my master's thesis was system selection.
Okay.
So I can throw some light on that. It was two city. How do we really select? We have the ports, we have monorail, we have the metro system, we have a light metro, we have bus system, we have so many things. But see what can really be workable in Banaras kind of city. Where are you talking about? You're talking about the city where you don't have as I mentioned, you don't have a right of way. One is right of way. What kind of span arrangement? Tell me which port system can have a span arrangement of 100 meters. So you don't know for one column to another pier, you will get the right space or not. That's the advantage the roadway gives. You can increase or decrease the span arrangement maybe 100, 200 meters.
Okay.
In such systems,
So
you can increase and decrease the height of the towers also.
So you have flexibility
fly
in 2 dimensions.
2 dimension. You can fly above the buildings. So we are flying above the buildings and we are keeping a gap of almost 10 meters out of the gondolas to top of the buildings.
Okay.
Seeing this. So you have the flexibility like going like this.
Okay.
And you have a span arrangement also. The only challenge in the roadway comes in, it goes in a straight line.
Now coming to the PPP part, as you mentioned, PPPs generally first have a assessment done of its bankability.
Yes.
So how exactly did you undertake any cost benefit analysis, or how did you arrive at a bankability of this project so that it can be offered to a private uh, promoters for developing as a concession long-term PPP project?
I'll give you these 2 dimensions for this. The first dimension is that one is to really select in which areas and how the project is to be selected.
Okay.
See, everybody aspire to do new technologies, new roadway systems. What we really need to see is which area really require, where you can really benefit at large. So as I mentioned to you, the Honorable Friends itself says last mile to hilly areas. Can I build a road in the hilly areas? Can you build a road to all such places in the hilly areas? And is it environmentally sustainable?
Yeah.
Building these things. So I have to do a comparison as you're asking port. Now I'm doing comparison between a transport system to another transport. Road system is another different and the roadway system.
Correct.
So in that area, should I do in ecology sensitive? The cost of per kilometer road is much higher than the roads. But if I go to aerial, the distance will be less. So that is one comparison one really to do a sustainable. Before you come to the pure what we call is number crunching of financial bankability.
Yeah.
So the government, what we need to really see is if we take a project, how much economic benefit will leap into that area.
Correct.
How the people will be able to move their lives. Otherwise, none of the urban transport system will be working across the world.
Yeah.
I don't recollect other than I think Hong Kong where the urban transport system is workable. And the
Hong Kong Metro is the only one which is running in profit.
Financial.
Yeah.
So, but every government does because the multiplier effect of this transport system is much more because city sustains and cities are the engines of growth. So that brings us that we are selecting the right system, right place. Now, a question comes: the second is then which model we really do. If we have multiple models while delivering this project, of course, our first priority is always remain that we should do a DBFO basis, design, build, finance, operate, transfer. So what we do is when we receive such proposal from the state, we do a kind of pre-feasibility studies, which gives us a dimension of the project scale, size, broad technologies, a very high level understanding whether project is doable or not. Once we know that project is doable, thing is scale and broad demand, then we work on the detailed feasibility or DPR as the case to do a right model in whether we should be whether project of financially viable of its own English or project requires certain supports in terms of PGA or is it required to be implemented by the government in a HAM model. HAM is another model where you see if you see this is a new sector, new technologies.
You mean hybrid annuity?
Hybrid annuity model.
Yeah.
When it's a hybrid annuity model, why it is also important is in a new technology such cases, there is a lot of risk are involved.
Yes.
So you need to see in the contract what are risk market can take and what are risk government can take. So sometimes you feel that these are demand risk, if you load every risk, DBFT almost all risk you are loading the market, but limited risk remain with the government. If you allow the risk to happen, the project may not happen. In initial sectors, if you give a thrust to the sector, government need to do some project, build a technology enhancement in the countries. When the capacity is built, sector is built, you will do many more projects. That's what happened in road sector. You initially build many projects on the EPC or other things. Then we went to the different modes of PPPs. Now we are successfully implementing the roads. Same goes in power sector. Same we have seen aviation sector. Newer PPPs you have seen. In many sectors we do it.
Now coming to the procurement proper, how was the bidding took place for this particular project, and what was the bid criteria you had laid down?
See, in the HAM, if you hybrid annuity model thing is the advantage of hybrid annuity model is that it gives a life cycle cost.
Okay.
So the developer is responsible not only for construction, also operation and maintenance of 15 years. So this is a electromechanical item.
Yes.
It's very much important that somebody should not be throwing anything to the government. So 15 years when somebody is maintaining it will ensure that good quality comes. So when we evaluate the project life cycle cost, not just the capital cost. And whosoever offers the best life cycle cost, is that person is being offered the project. We calculate the NPV in that way. What we call it in our terminology the BPC thing is. But that's a highly technical term thing is. But one can easily understand the life cycle cost of the lease which is being offered to the authorities because we give highest quality of standard specification in the contract what we need based on that somebody quotes and we select. In the hybrid annuity model, the revenue fare comes to us.
Okay.
Is the developer is the concessionaire is responsible for construction and operation maintenance. So we pay him capital cost. We also pay him operation maintenance cost over 15 years.
Okay.
So what we do is we pay 60% of the project cost during the construction period, 40% plus operation maintenance cost during the operation period of 15 years.
Okay.
So basically leveraging a private capital in the risk model, you're leveraging a private capital by almost 50-50. So you're leveraging a private technology expert.
So you are assuming the revenue risk yourself.
Yes.
So that there is no traffic or revenue risk with the concessionaire.
Yes.
And that's where it works.
Because it depends, we analyze that everywhere initially market may not be able to take it.
Yeah.
Once you develop 5, 10, few projects, thing is, then market start developing. So now we start exploring and recently we have seen few more projects as done by states on the DBFOT basis. So the mix of that will go and the market will nurture that.
You have also entered into a MOU with the IIT Roorkee, the premium engineering institution of Northern India. Now, what are the dimensions of your MOU with IIT Roorkee? And could you also throw some light on the codes of practices and manuals which you are using for building these ropeways?
So we had a discussion with IIT Roorkee because ropeway, not as mentioned in the beginning, that not a much sector has been developed. For us as a government, a much larger responsibility to build capacity in the system. When I say capacity is skill set, technical know-how, research and development, and most important, making. All these things cannot happen of its own. We need to develop our center of excellence, where the people do a research, students are being trained, developed, we can also develop new technologies, and those technology can given to the Indian manufacturers, Indian developers, association. They can start manufacturing. So we can do a transfer of technologies. What you have seen in metro systems. Earlier, coach used to come from the outside. Now we are manufacturing. Vande Bharat, we are manufacturing India. Similarly, we also expect that thing is now when we start building something is in times to come. So for that, our major objective is to build capacity in India on technical know-how and manpower.
So you are already having those codes and manuals of practice, or you are still using the international codes?
See, there are two kinds of codes globally works. So one we normally call SAN standard, which is Certified European Network, something they call it CEN. Across the globe, people follow the SAN standard because the major manufacturers, global leader manufacturers who are basically from Europe, they follow those standards.
Okay.
The advantage of those codes is that not that the codes are just high. Of course, codes being written last 100 more than 100 years are more mature. They are also certified. So you just can't manufacture a rope component. You just can't assemble a manufacturing unless you have been certified or your component has been certified. That brings a difference. So similarly, we as Indian, we have Bureau of Indian Standards, which are very high-class nodal agencies in the country, which provide the certifications for or the certification plus the codes for all the kind of components. We have the BIS codes for the roadway pass. The upgradation is already going. We are now collaborating the BIS now to bring our codes to the European or international level, I would say. But more important, we are also working with them. How do we really make a certification program for this thing? Because the building quality, if you see, you to Guru, the building quality is very good. Other quality. So what happened is any architect or any manufacturer, any contractors, is certified.
Thank you for all that details which you have been providing. Can I just ask you, what is the revenue matrix? How exactly are you getting the fare box collection complemented with other sources of revenue?
See, in ropeway, either you do the urban transport or you do the tourism transport. Of course, first basic is fare box revenues, which everybody rely on. But there is no limitation. So, such kind of transportation are not viable for school. So, you really also need to see the other way of financing. You can't have very large commercial development, but what is important is when such traveler comes in these areas, but they also need a lot of other facilities of entertainment, like restaurant, like commercial development, like showroom shops, yes. Somewhere hotels, budget hotels, in this case we are doing it to Bana. And plus advertisement and branding rights. So that will make the project viable.
And what about the regulatory authority? Do you have any regulatory system, or and how are you taking care of the disputes if they are arising?
So there are two parts. As far as the regulatory system is concerned, the ropeway is governed by the State Ropeway Act. So they appoint a ropeway inspector or ropeway authority who do a certification. But as being a government of India, we have certain way of delivering our project. We have an independent engineer for everything. Okay. Independent engineer's role is to ensure the quality monitoring. We also have a DRB system, Dispute Resolution Board. 3-member board is being appointed since the beginning of the project. The board meets every quarter, irrespective of issues, and they discuss both concession and the authority that you have any issues are going on, how the project is happening. If any issue, they try to give an amicable solutions or things are being resolved. That's what is being controlled.
Tell me, Mr. Prakash Gaur, what has been your biggest challenge in delivering or implementing this particular project?
You're seeing Banaras?
Banaras.
See, the biggest challenge is delivery in such a high core area. See, I'll tell you, we have given 2 years time. The first 1 year, we started last year in June, and not than a year, we have 3 stations are almost constructed. First station is almost installed, and by September and October, we are going for a trial run, which is 1.25 years. First section, 2 kilometers, which is, I don't think in India we have delivered such projects at 60. But having said that, I know I'm being a staunch Hindu person. What is Adhik Maas? I got to know in Hindu. 4 extra Mondays, meaning is you can't work for another 4 Mondays plus 3 days. So 1 month other gone. Every day you have Banaras city of festivals. people enjoy the city. Then you go to Bana, you realize the cultural city. On one side it is, but you don't get such kind of working conditions, working times.
Thank you, Prakash ji, for such a detailed input on the most happening project of the country. What message would you like to give to our viewers and listeners of this podcast?
We are working on new technologies which will bring a new economic dimension to the country. We give a lot of economic opportunities, job opportunities, especially far-flung areas. The inaccessible areas where people could not reach, these are natural beauty will be harnessed and will be protected. Looking forward to that.
Thank you.